Hello there, this is Nawaz Nihal, and today I'll be explaining you Center's free food grain scheme, which is extended till March and will be presented by me. So let us get started with this. Let us see that what was this food grain scheme was actually. So what happened that during the pandemic, when this pandemic started in early 2020, so this food grain scheme was launched, and in this about 80 crore people were targeted, 80 crore persons were targeted, and in this 5 kg free food grains should be provided under PM Garib Kalyan Yojana, Anni Yojana. But what this scheme was about? So, as we all know, that as soon as the pandemic started, there was this problem of the migrants and all that. So, it was a scheme to give free supply of food to migrants and poor, especially. So, this came under the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. So, in the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, this scheme of PMGKAY, that is Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, was launched. So let us discuss that what this scheme actually is. So this is one of the world largest food security scheme. So if suppose in prelims questions like this can be asked, that which country have the world largest food security scheme, so it's none other than India. And so also it was announced as the first relief package during the COVID. So as we know that many fiscal and monetary packages are launched after this COVID-19. So this was the first of those package to give food to the poor and the migrants. So this was the first scheme, and this scheme also covers the PDS system, the Antyodaya Anni Yojana, and public household ration card holders. So any three of these can are eligible for this Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, and many more are also eligible. We will discuss it soonly. So for in this, where the beneficiary will receive 5 kg of food grains and 1 kg of gram per month. And now, as I have discussed, that update have been done, that from now on the scheme will be provided from November to March. So in this fifth phase of this scheme, 1 kg gram per month has been removed. So it's only 5 kg of food grains now. So moving on, so let us discuss the eligibility. So as I have discussed earlier, the person below the poverty line and with Antyodaya Anni Yojana and priority household categories are eligible for this scheme. So for PHH, means priority household category, it will be identified by state and union territory administration as per the criteria which is based by a state. Okay, so this priority household will be based by the state, and Antyodaya Anni Yojana families will also be identified by states, but the criteria would be prescribed by central government, that these are the criteria where Antyodaya Anni Yojana families can be implemented. So a question could also be asked from here. So see, whenever we are covering a topic, we have to make sure that what future prospective questions could be there from this topic. In that way, if we do our preparation, that will be much beneficial, because at the end of the day questions are being asked in examination. So moving on, so the households which have widow or terminally ill person or disabled person or person aged 60 years or more with no assured means of subsistence or societal support, means if these four categories are there and they have no other any source of income, they are also eligible. And yeah, same thing is there. Sorry for that typo here, I have simply copy pasted the same thing over here. And all primitive, so we can cut this off, sorry for this. And all primitive tribal household, means in tribal areas, this is this or anybody which is from tribal area, they are beneficent of this scheme. So whenever we are writing in mains about the tribal areas, we can put this point also, that this scheme could be utilized by tribal areas also. And here many categories are there So it's nothing to mug it up or something. We don't have to do it like that way, but we have to make a special thing about this, that all eligible below poverty line families of HIV positive person. So this is a very unique thing with this scheme, that HIV positive persons are also included in this scheme. So we have to make sure that this thing is also mentioned. I mean, suppose if some question are asked, so we might not be getting confused on this. So moving on. So why these measures were necessary? So see, for economic purpose, as we all know, that there was this crisis of liquidity, means people don't want to spend their money. So at the, when the pandemic hit us, there was this crisis of liquidity, that people had this tendency of saving their money, so they don't want to expend it. So in that cases, they also don't want to spend it to food, to food. So this crisis of liquidity also happened. And also due to this nationwide lockdown, so this earning opportunities were lost. So these two main things were there. So that's why this measure was very necessary. So there are many concerns and challenges which we have with this PM with this scheme. First concern is no one should be left out. Okay, daily, especially daily workers and informal workers shouldn't be left out. And the real challenges will be implementing those measures, means everyone is getting those 5 kg of food. Okay, and it's, and other is see, for example, there sometimes in India there is this surplus food grains available in government warehouse. And what happened is that those surplus food are not getting into the hands of poor. So existing system should be well established, and the system of procurement of pulses needed to be created, means they are taking pulse also when from the surplus food grains. Okay, and constraint to migrant worker. So there are some constraint, especially to migrant worker. As we see, migrant workers issue was a very big issue when pandemic hit. So, and still many migrant workers haven't returned to their homes. Still they are working on to their home state only. So what happened that in economic survey to 2018-19, it was said that India needs to take a big initiative to improve its food security. And also, most migrant workers do not live with families, they do not cook their meals, so they rely on roadside vendors and dhabas. So how this scheme should reach to those persons, that's a concern. And also, without access to cooking arrangement or fuel, only subsidized grains are not sufficient to those migrants. Means if a migrant is there, they don't have this this availability of fuel and all those cooking utensils and all that. So simply giving them grains would not be also sufficed. And also we have to make sure that nutritious food are being distributed in this kind of a scheme. And also nutrition deficiency is not done to the migrant. And the first thing, and the one more thing is that diet diversity is there when the grains are provided. Means diet diversity means a diet should contain protein, fat, and some necessary elements which are there, which are necessary for all human development. So three important things when it comes to health perspective: first is diet diversity, second is nutritional deficiency should not be there, and the food should be nutritious. And also moving on, there were different phases of the scheme. So in first phase and second phase was operation from April to June, and then July to November. Then third phase came out, it became operation from May to June. And when fourth phase come out, it became operation to July to November. So, and when the fifth phase, which will be currently enrolled now to March 2022, till March 2022. And in this we can write one point in mains. For example, if schemes like these are asked, we can write one point that what happened that due to this discontinuity between the schemes, means if the government would have said that till March 2022 this scheme would be in action, so there would be uniformity in the scheme, means at local level corruption should not be included, because if because a person at the end of the line might not be knowing that the scheme has restarted, so the person distributing at the PSD or the person distributing this scheme might take an advantage of those poor family, because they are the communication to them are not that much good. They have not access to communication tools also, like newspaper or internet, like that. So a corruption can come in here, so that they will say that from now on some extra money would be taken. So in main answer writing we could put it out that this different phase which are there should be in uniform way, so that as I have discussed, corruption involvement is not there at ground level. In main answer writing we could point out this thing also. And moving on, so let us discuss the expenditure part and distribution part of the scheme. So the expenditure is about 2.60 lakhs crores from phase 1 to phase 5, and in the phase 5 especially, which is enrolled from November to March 2022, additional food subsidy of 53,344 crores have been announced. And that, as we have seen the distribution, so in distribution from phase 1 to 4, 600 like metric tons of food grains have been distributed, and about 2.7 lakh crore have been distributed in food subsidies. And similarly, till phase 4, 93.8% food grains have been lifted, means about 6.2% of grains are not lifted, are unutilized of this scheme, so that can be used for phase 5 also. So but still that's a very efficient figure giving the demography of India and the diversity of India. So that's all. So we have to first make sure that who are eligible for this scheme, and second we have to make sure that why this scheme was needed, and third we have to know that what are the problems migrants and poor are facing given the given the food security of that. And whenever you are discussing these kind of things, if we add up with National Food Security Act 2013, I will urge you all to read a little about National Food Security Act 2013 also, or I will if you guys like it, I might make a video on that. So yeah, and all these things will be provided on our Telegram channel, and do subscribe to that also. And do have a regular check on our website also, because daily current affairs update are there. And if you are following our current affairs update, from current affairs part, you can be assured that nothing more than that could be asked, because that's a very holistic approach we are taking on our website. So have a regular touch on the website also. So see you. Thank you.